Welcome back everyone, Mariah Monetize here. Happy New Year's Eve. Today we're briefly going to go over the price of Bitcoin, and then I'm just going to go over some really important lessons that I learned in 2022. Things that we can take with us into 2023 to make our lives better. And just going to go on a little bit of a rant of what I'm talking about. So before we move on to the price of Bitcoin, just in, Bahamas Securities Commission says it's holding FTX deposits worth over $3.5 billion. I don't know why, but I don't think that's true. It could be, but I don't think it's true. So let's go and take a quick look here at the price of Bitcoin. Let's go and zoom out on the 7-day chart. Bitcoin has been boring, and you know what? I don't get bored that easily. I rarely say I'm bored, but guess what? Bitcoin's being boring. So this is a weekly chart here. It looks pretty darn weak if I say so myself. This red 2, if it starts trading above the red 1, ouch. The low of this red 1 is 16,343. We are not too far from that red 2 trading below that red 1. Like I said, I will feel confident that the bottom is in when this green moving average crosses over the red. We're also seeing Bitcoin obviously see resistance at that 50 DMA, and that is continuing. You know what I would be really curious of? Okay, so this 50 DMA is very critical because Bitcoin has clearly failed to get above it over the past few weeks. As you could see, it had some issues over here, had some issues over here in the first week of December, and now once again here on this current week. You know what we're going to do? We are going to take a look back at the last time, Bitcoin's previous cycle, and we're going to take a look at that crossover that I've mentioned many times before, and the relationship of the 50 DMA in that particular scenario. So this over here is 2019, and obviously, like I was mentioning before, a very critical point was when that green crossed over the red. Well, what is the relationship here that we're seeing? So obviously there was a great buying opportunity here on this bottom and a great buying opportunity here as well. But if you wanted to get into a position that was going to be immediately profitable, it was here. It was when that green moving average crossed over the red. So let's go and see though the relationship with Bitcoin and the 50 DMA, which is this thinner red line. So what we could see here is that Bitcoin was able to close above that 50 DMA. That was the week of February 12th, 2019. But then that crossover didn't really happen until here, which was the week of March 26th, so about a month and a half later. So first that green crossed over the red, Bitcoin was able to close above the 50 DMA, and then that crossover came in about a month and a half later. So something that we may want to consider paying attention to is when this green crosses over the red. Obviously, if we get in over here, that's great. It's not the bottom, okay? But trying to pick the bottom is not necessarily what I'm trying to do or what you should ever try to do, because your odds are slim to none. Okay, the goal is to get into a position where you're in profit immediately. At least that's what I am trying to accomplish in this scenario. So it's going to be really interesting to see. It's like this green moving average, which if you guys want to add this to your chart, it is a 5. So the green is a 5 day, and the red is a 12 day. And we're seeing actually them touching. The 5 day and the 50 EMA are touching right here. So we might want to be paying also close attention to when the crossover happens. Let's take a look here at the daily chart on Bitcoin. Looking very weak. Nothing good here on the daily chart when it comes to Bitcoin. Like the 12-day chart here, very weak. Let's take a look here at the 4-hour trading sideways. Looking a bit more on the neutral side, the hourly chart is looking weak on Bitcoin. It failed to make a higher high. It made a lower high. 30-minute chart looking bad. Things on Bitcoin not really looking all that great. 5-minute chart also looking really poor as well. So Bitcoin sitting at $16,535. We have Ethereum sitting at $12.01. We have Core Scientific sitting at 7 cents. It's been taking hit after hit after hit. Coinbase sitting at $35.39. Today is Saturday, right? I really don't like paying attention to the days of the week. Do the days of the week really even matter? Most of the time, not really. But the markets, these are Friday's closes. So we have These are Friday's closes on Coinbase, obviously. And we have a link sitting at 558, dot sitting at 434. So across the crypto space today, we have a little bit of red. We also have some coins that are up, between 1 and 5%. Let's go ahead and see how things closed yesterday on SPY. This is a 5-minute chart. So SPY ended the day on a pretty solid note. On the hourly chart, actually the hourly chart looks pretty good. So we made a higher low here. And it looks like there's some momentum on that 1-hour chart. I'm not sure if markets are open on Monday or not. And then I'm anticipating some resistance over here at about $388. So let's go ahead and back up here. Like I said, sometimes Ethereum does lead the way on the charts. So, this is interesting. This is the 1-hour chart on Ethereum. This is the 1-hour chart on Bitcoin. So Ethereum is looking quite a bit stronger, actually. Let's see here. This is a 1-hour chart. 1-hour chart looking pretty good. Has made a higher high. Let's take a look here at the 4-hour chart. Wow. So this is a scenario where I would say Ethereum could be leading the way on the charts here in the space. So I would want to take a little bit of a closer look, but Ethereum is actually showing more strength on not the 12-hour, I would say, but 4-hour. It actually made a higher high on the 4-hour chart and on the hourly chart as well. So, like I mentioned, sometimes Ethereum leads the way, and this could be, by using the Ethereum chart, potentially a good point of reference to get into a Bitcoin position. Actually, I'm going to be paying closer attention to that because that looks pretty interesting. It's something that I continuously look at when I make these videos because, like I said, sometimes Ethereum does lead the way, and it's important to pay attention to what Ethereum is doing as well, even if you're not trading Bitcoin. It happens frequently, and it's currently leading Bitcoin in the momentum shift. So, I'm just going to talk about this year. Change the screen here. Can I change the screen? Yeah, I can change the screen. This background thing is interesting. So I just want to talk about a few things. First off, I'm doing 30-minute calls for only $30. Usually I charge $75. You can ask about Bitcoin, moving to Puerto Rico. I have a link down below if you want to sign up for one of those calls. And I kind of wanted to mainly go over just like the thought process of the market conditions and what we experienced in 2022. Obviously, like market-wise, it was quite rough for many of us. Whether you lost funds on Celsius, on FTX, on BlockFi, on Vault, lost in terms of just the prices going down in general. I even had friends that lost a ton, obviously, with Luna, and even people that got hacked signing into their exchange accounts, unfortunately. And so I think every person I know has been affected in some way, unfortunately. But what I've learned is that you could still have a good attitude when you lose a shit ton of money. And that is so incredibly important because if you feel like you were never able to emotionally recover, what you have to ask yourself, right? Was this like an identity thing? Was like your identity so woven? Was like crypto or how much money you had or how much money you made? Was it hardcore like woven into your identity? And so we have to just have confidence in our ability to move forward and find new ways to make money or to just recover financially. And so that was one of the most important things that I feel like I learned in 2022 was just to be resilient through the really challenging times of losing a ton of money in the crypto space. And just to give you guys some other information that I think I would find interesting if I was someone that watched this channel is, so most people I would say have no idea the money aspect of when it comes to YouTube and revenue, okay? So there's obviously a ton of ways to make money on YouTube. But when it came to YouTube revenue for me, wow, was that a roller coaster and a volatility situation just like everything else. And I even experienced a ton of volatility when it came to the car rental business. I mean, some days I would go on Expedia and find cars for $1 a day before taxes and fees. And when I quote people, right, I have to be somewhat competitive with what's happening with other car rental companies. Other days, a car rental would be $250. And so the volatility there was massive. But back to the YouTube channel thing. So YouTube AdSense is something that most creators, that is not the bulk of their income from YouTube. It just kind of depends on how your channel is structurally. And so, I mean, it went from, in the first half of the year, my channel was ramping up. I was making more and more money every month. And then my channel peaked at $10,000 of revenue in one single month, which was really exciting. And part of me really wanted to celebrate and get excited about it. But then the other part of me was like, this feels too good to be true. Like, I cannot spending like this is going to be a continuous thing coming in from YouTube. And part of me just felt like it wasn't going to last very long. And sure enough, the next month, it all pretty much went away. There was no one willing to pay for really sponsored ads. And it was a really challenging time to even want to accept paid ads because of the climate and everything else that was happening. You know, like with the Celsius thing and everything, I became so just fearful of potentially promoting a company that I thought was good that turned out not to be so good. Although I gave plenty of warnings throughout all of it, and I knew there was risk in myself when I put my money into those companies, I just didn't want it to happen again. It made me really rethink things. So it literally went from $10,000 in 1 month from sponsorships to zero the next month. And then I didn't want to pick up any other sponsors because the options were just, first of all, not very good. And I lost, I would say, some confidence in picking companies to share on my channel, unfortunately. And so it's crazy to think that I can look back and be like, I had a really great year, although all of these really crappy things happened to me. And that's just because of expectations. I have little to no expectations. I have a really good attitude about things. And at the end of the day, there are so many more important and valuable things in life than money. Although I think it's important and it's fun to make money. I love the challenge of making money. But at the same time, we have to prioritize other things. And when I went back to California and would try to spend some time with certain people, and it's just I know it's not even worth asking them to spend time because this is a time of year where they're super busy, they have no time to even sleep. It's I don't want to be that person. My health, there's so much wealth in having good health, and it's most definitely become a priority. And don't get me wrong, I still believe in Bitcoin and I still believe in crypto, but it really put things into perspective for me. And this is my second bear market, and I would say it's been harder than the first. Both extremely challenging, but definitely harder than the first. But through all of this, damn did I learn a lot. And damn am I excited for the next market cycle and what's to come. And to take everything I've learned from this bear market and the previous bear market and make better decisions moving forward into the next bull run. So that's all that I have for you today. Cheers to 2023. This is going to be your best year yet. No expectations, a positive attitude, lead with love in every single thing that you do. That is all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.